Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Capnclydes MTG. Today we have the two commander decks from Wilds of Eldraine. We're going to go through them of every card in the deck plus the new ones and give you an idea of what they're about. Before we get started, don't forget comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Helps keep the channel sponsor free, and maybe one day I'll earn some money doing these silly shit. Anyway, so without further ado, let's go. We're going to start off with Virtue and Valor. So this is straight from a Goldfish and kind of their listing prices, what they think the card values are. I don't believe all of them, but hey, we'll go with it. They're saying that $144 is what you get from Virtue and Valor. Now you got to remember, there's cards in here like this for 26 cents. You don't care about that. You wouldn't buy these cards for 75 or 35 cents because you probably could get them cheaper somewhere else. So the real price of this is probably not the list. So first card we have is Eldraine of the Wild Court. This is your commander, green, white, and 2 for a 4/4. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, create a virtuous roll token attached to another target creature you control. Whenever an enchanted creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Virtue and Valor is a green-white enchantment deck. Hate to break it to you, but that's where we're at again. So whatever though. Still, this is a great commander, really good card, and I gotta admit this art on this is pretty sweet. All right, we have the Knickknack Ophi. Green and X for a 1/1. Enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. When it enters the battlefield, reveal the top X cards in your library. You may put any number of aura cards with mana value X or less from among them onto the battlefield. Then put all the other revealed cards this way onto the battle, not put on the battlefield, bottom of your library in random order. This is basically an enchantment fireball that lets you just go ham with enchantments off the top of your deck. And this thing's only $3.99. I think it's gonna be a little more popular than that. Just because if you cast this for 7, you're going to play, unless all 7 cards, unless you pull up a land or something, you're playing whatever's on the top of your deck. Really good card. I like it. Even like the picture, cute little fella. Anyway, we get a reprint of Destiny Spinner, reprint of the Naturalist. Core Spirit Dancer comes back with a nice little reprint for about $1. We have the Paradise Druid, reprint from Lord of the Rings. Sanctum Weaver gets a reprint. Starfield Mystic reprint. Sylvan Ranger from 11 reprint. If you didn't know, when it enters the battlefield, you get to search your land for basic land card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. This is probably one of the long forgotten best mana fixing cards from Green. Only because it's never got a reprint, and it's a 2 mana 1/1, so it doesn't go into play, but sometimes just 2 mana to make a 1/1 to block with so you can get your land for turn 3 is just good enough. Do like it. All right, we have Timber Paladin. This is a new card. Green and 1 for a 1/1. As long as it's enchanted by exactly 1 aura, its base power is 3/3. When it's enchanted by exactly 2 auras, it becomes a 5/5 with Vigilance. I see where this is going. And when it's enchanted by 3 or more auras, the base power and toughness is 10/10, Vigilance, and Trample. This thing is going to say, kill me the minute it hits the battlefield. This is a powerful card. It's looking like it only says it's $4, but I think it might be a little higher than that depending on how this thing plays out. But then again, maybe it is a $4 card because of how much they like to print these cards. Anyway. All right, moving on. Next, we have Tithe Taker reprint. Nothing great there. Transcendent Envoy. It's a fine card. Aura Gnarlid. This is a reprint from back in the day. What is that? World Wake? Wow. We have Defania Capuchin. We have Eidolon Countless Battles. That was a pretty good card, honestly. We have Gwalen Caster Director, new card, white, green, and 1, 2, 3. Whenever the director or a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you get to choose one. Make a royal roll token attached to that creature. Make a sorcerer roll token or a monster roll token. And all those have different abilities, but still, this is amazing considering when you cast something, it automatically gets an enchantment on it. And it's going for about $8. That sounds right, but it is a mythic, so I don't know if it's going to hold that. We have Loomcrafter Fawn. This is a new one, a green and 2 for a 3/3. Good rate for a rare. When it enters the battlefield, you may discard 1 or more land cards. When you do, return up to that many target non-land permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. Wow, that seems really good. It's a regrow with legs, and some big legs at that. I think this is going to be pretty popular in any deck playing green, just because it's not hindered by enchantment only. This is anything, and that could be sweet. It's a Tessin Champion reprint. Is this thing really $2? I mean, let's be honest. Like, really? Anyway, we have Siona, Captain of the Pelis. Almost said. Anyway, moving on. Tangle Span Lookout from the main set is here. We have Umbra Mystic. Not too bad. Johnny's Chosen. Archon of the Sun. Umbra Mystics. That thing really $6? Jesus. Anyway, Archon of the Sun. Eidolon of Blossoms. Powerhouse card. Ox Rover. We've got a new one. White and 3 for a 4/4 with Vigilance. Already great. Can't be blocked by Oxen. Okay, fair. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, target opponent creates a 2/4 Ox creature token and you draw a card. I don't know if I like that. Yeah, they get 2/4s. Yeah, you get to draw cards, but it's every time. I mean, this. Well, I mean, it does have Vigilance, so I guess if they swing back, you could kill the stuff. I don't know. I'm gonna have to see it in action for me to actually know if I like it or not. I mean, you put enough enchantments on it with lifelink, it's really not gonna matter. So moving on. We have Shalai, the Voice of Plenty reprint. Celestial Archon, Cyramon from the main set, the Redeemer's in here, not too shabby. Liberated Livestock, this is very interesting. White and 5 for this 4/6. Wow, that's big. When it dies, you get a 1/1 white cat creature token with lifelink, a 1/1 white bird with flying, a 2/4 white ox, and for each of those tokens, you may put an aura card from your hand and or graveyard onto the battlefield attached to it. Wow, that's really good. This is a great way to lay a creature that once it gets killed, you get a bunch of creatures and your best enchantments back out of your graveyard. I think this is going to be a must-have in almost every enchantment deck. Good old Sun Titan's back. I mean, why wouldn't he be? Realm Cloak Giant. I mean, it's a wrath. It's a creature. Why not? All right, for spells, we have Swords to Plowshares. Fine. Generous Gift. We've got a better one of these already. But anyway, Retether. Not the worst, but still good. Unfinished Business. This is new. 2 white and 3. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, then return up to 2 aura or enchantment cards attached to it. Seems pretty good, not gonna lie. We have Winds of Wrath, because a regular Wrath of God be too much. Austere Command, it's fine. And then up here we have Rishkar's Expertise. Is this thing really $4? Anyway, got a reprint of that. Obviously, we get a Soul Ring. How is this thing still $1? It's in every set. Arcane Signet. It should be more like this, 75 cents. Anyway, Ethereal Armor, not bad. Utopia Sprawl. That's not going to be the art on there. Or it would be $4, so maybe that's another reason why this is not priced right. Anyway, Daybreak Cornet, that's a good one. Fertile Ground, like it. Kenna's Transformation, another good reprint. Spectral Steel, Warbuyer Blessing, Ancestral Mass, this card's house. Careful Cultivation, Enchantress Presence, again. More Umbras with Snake Umbra, Timely Ward, Angelic Destiny reprint, Bear Umbra, Indomitable Might, Sage Revere, Songbird Blessing's a new one. White and 3 enchantment or enchant creature. Whenever this creature attacks, reveal cards top of your library until you reveal an aura card. You may put that onto the battlefield. If you don't, put it into your hand. The rest on the bottom random order. I mean, maybe if you get an aura that you want to use to like exile your opponent's stuff, you don't want to put it on the battlefield for nothing, you put it in your hand, so that's fair. But still, this seems to be house as well. That's pretty good. Then we have Giant Inheritance. This is another good one from the set. Green and 4 enchant creature. Enchanted creature has 5/5. Has whenever this creature attacks, create a monster roll token attached to one attacking creature. And when the inheritance is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, return to the owner's hand. Very interesting. We have the Mantle of the Ancient reprint, Verdant Embrace reprint, and Pollen Bright Wings. Now let's look at the lands, which will be quick because they always suck. Canopy Vista, Castle Ardenvale, okay. Command Tower, yeah, we know. 15 Forest, a Fortified Village, yay. Hall of Heliod, that would actually come in handy. Corrosion Verge, Myriad Landscape, 14 Plains. Sungrass Prairie, I mean, that's probably the best one you're going to get out of here. Temple of Plenty, that's actually pretty good. And then you have Vitsugazi, the City Tree, Ooh boy, look at them good lands. Hall of Helios Generosity is really the best one at $10. But anyway, so there's that one. We have all the enchantments going down. Now we're going to go to Fade Domination, which is all fairy all the time. So, for the commander, we have Tegwall, Duke of Splendor, black, blue, and 1 for this 2/3 flying Death Toucher. Other fairies get +1/+1. Whenever another fairy you control dies, you draw a card and lose a life. Seems pretty cool until your opponent wrath, so you lose 7 life, draw 7 cards, and probably die. But anyway, still, great commander. I like it a lot. We got the old Fairy Seer reprint, Cloud of Fairies reprint, Hypnotic Sprite. I'll just be Hypnotic Fairy. Anyway, we have the Night Veil Sprite. We have Obaria Dream Duelist from the set. We have the Picklock Prankster. We have the Quickling from 15 reprint. That's not too bad. Brazen Borrower. That's a good $10 hit. That's a great fairy. We have the Blade Crafter, or Fairy Blade Crafter new to commander. Black and 2 for this 2/2 flyer. Whenever one or more fairies you control deal combat damage to a player, play a +1/+1 counter on the Blade Crafter. Whenever a Blade Crafter dies, each opponent loses X life. You gain X life, where X is its power. Halo. Alright, we have Halo Forager, good fairy. Mocking Sprite from the set. Nettling Nuisance is new. Black and 2 for a 3/1 flyer. Whenever one or more fairies you control deal combat damage to a player, that player creates a 4/2 red pirate creature token that can't block, and it's goaded the rest of the game. Why is it a pirate? Is this some kind of weird Peter Pan reference? Anyway, next we have the Scion of Una reprint. Not too shabby, ain't gonna lie. And then we have a new one, Aelia the Cunning Conquest or Conqueror. Black, blue, and 2 for this 2/4 flyer. Whenever you cast your first spell during each opponent's turn, you get to create a 1/1 black fairy token with flying. Whenever one more fairies you control deal combat damage to a player, go target creature that player controls. Seems good. Do we have another new one? Blightwing Bandit. Looks like Wrinkle's sister. Anyway, black and 3 for this 2/2 flying Death Toucher. Doesn't have haste though. It's almost a Wrinkle. Whenever you cast your first spell during each opponent's turn, look at the top card of that player's library, then exile it face down. You may play that card for as long as it remains exiled, and mana of any type can be used to cast it. Well, this has gotten out of hand really fast. This is an amazing card. Wow. It says $8. It's every bit of $8, if not more. We have Glen Alindra Archmage reprint, really good. We have Glen Alindra's Liege reprint, not so good, but still, I mean, it's a good card. It's just not worth any money. Malleable Imposter, this is a new one. Blue and 3 for a 0/0 shapeshifting fairy. Flying Flash. You may have the Imposter in the battlefield as a copy of a creature an opponent controls, except it's a fairy shapeshifter in addition to other types and has flying. Oh look, it's Rankle. Imagine him showing up. Solar Temptation reprint. Spell Scorn Covering from the set. We have Archmages of Echoes. This is a new card. Blue and 4 for a 4/4 flying Ward 2 fairy. That's a fat fairy. Fat bottom fairies. Anyway, whenever you cast a fairy or wizard permanent spell, copy it. Interesting. Makes me wonder if the copy becomes a token. It makes me wonder if that would actually be a good card in a wizard deck. Anyway, Fairy Formation reprint. We have Ona's Trickster reprint. We have Puppet Cliche reprint. Ona, Queen of the Fae, is here. Dun dun dun. Hall Breaker Horror, because a bunch of fairies really need a giant fish to ride. I'm not even sure that makes sense. But anyway, and we have the Shadow Puppeteers. This is a new card. A blue and 6 for a fairy wizard. That's a 4/4. This is the real fat bottom fairy. Anyway, Flying Ward 2. When Shadow Puppeteer enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 black fairy rogue tokens with flying. Not bad. So technically for 7 mana, you get 6/6 in power and toughness. Whenever a creature you control with flying attacks, you may have it become a red dragon with base power and toughness 4/4 in addition to other oh, wow. So every 1/1 flyer you make in this deck with this out becomes a 4/4 flying dragon, in addition to all of the colors and types. This is pretty powerful for a rare. I ain't gonna lie. Not even got a price on it. Nobody knows if it's worth anything or not. I'll have to wait and see. Alright, so let's hit up them spells. We have Consider, Opt, Arcane Denial. I wish it was this picture. I love the old art. We have a Reality Shift, a Runaway Together. That is just horrifying to think about that picture that way. Anyway, Snap reprint. Hello. Snap reprint. Spell Stutter. This is new from the set. Frantic Search. Keep Watch. Wow, that's old. That's from Odyssey. Wow, draw a card for each attacking creature. That seems powerful. You got a buttload of fairies running around. Anyway, Reckless Spite reprint. All right. We also have Repulse. We have Theatrical Duplication reprint. Distant Melody, Factor Fiction, Old School. Illusionary Gambit reprint. Nightmare Unmaking. Perplexing Test. We have the Thrilling Encore. Tegwall's Scouring. So this is a new card. 2 black and 4 sorcery. You may cast as those had flash by tapping 3 untapped creatures you control with flying in addition to paying the other cost. Destroy all creatures. Create 3 1/1 black fairy rogue token creatures with flying. A very interesting black wrath. This may get popular in other sets and commanders as well, since this is black and gives you creatures. It doesn't rely on fairies, just creatures with flying to make it a instant spell. This is very interesting. Kindred Dominance reprint again. Dig Through Time. Now we get to move on to artifacts, see how good this is, or bad. Soul Ring, imagine that. Wayfarer's Bauble, Arcane Signet, imagine that. Damir's Signet, Felwar Stone, Mind Stone. Where were all the mana rocks in the last one? Talisman of Dominance, Midnight Clock, Misleading Signpost. So this is a new one. It's really interesting. Blue and 2 artifact with flash. It enters the battlefield during the declare attacker step. You may reselect which player or permanent target attacking creature is attacking, plus it's a mana rock. This seems good. Fairy decks, shenanigans. This is right on point. I think this might be a very powerful card. All right, on to enchantments. We actually have a couple. We have Reconnaissance Mission, reprint from Warhammer 40k, and Reflections of Lajara. All right, now onto the land. How bad is it? Do we get a Bajuka Bog? Yay, a common. Choked Estuary, because why not? Command Tower, knew that was coming. We get the Filter Land, Darkwater Catacombs, Aqueduct, Orchard, a Fairy Conclave. Ooh. 13 Islands, Myriad Landscape, Path to Ancestry, Secluded Glen. Hey, that's actually pretty good. We got a Fairy Land. Imagine that, in the Fairy deck. And just one of them so far. Well, I mean, I guess Fairy Conclave, but let's be real here. Sunken Hollow, 12 Swamps. We got Tainted Isle. That's an interesting choice. Anyway, because what if you don't have a... Anyway, I won't go there. Temple of Deceit, not too bad. And Temple of the False Gods. Why do you want a Temple of the False Gods? You're playing fairies. I mean, there are some big fairies, I guess, but... Anyway. So, there you have it, guys. There's the 2 decks. 137 for Fey Domination, 144 for Virtue and Value, basically enchantment spam. It's up to you if you like them, if you want them. I don't think they look all that great. There are good cards in here. I am not saying that there aren't, but it may be easier to just honestly buy the cards that are new individually and just build your own deck, because a lot of this is just filler. And because of that, it makes these very unimpressive in my personal opinion. So, with all that said and done, until next time, be kind, and I hope to see you across from the game table.